This week, China ends post-market animal testing requirements, and Ricky Gervais shut down animal testing in under 1 minute. Greta Thunberg, a 16-year-old animal activist, has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, and find out which new vegan product has arrived at McDonald's. All that and more on Live Kindly's weekly vegan news. China announced that post-market cosmetics testing in the country will no longer include animal tests. The announcement came from the Gansu Province National Medical Products Association, which promises an end to animal tests on imported and domestically produced products. Animal welfare organization Cruelty Free International applauded the news as an important step in ending animal testing around the world. The organization's chief executive officer stated, "This assurance by the Chinese authorities that post-market animal testing is now not normal practice is an enormous step in the right direction. Although this doesn't mean that cosmetic companies can import to China right away and be declared cruelty-free, it is progress." Cruelty Free International hopes that this will pave the way to legislative change. In October 2018, China's National Institute for Food and Drug Control announced it was looking into viable alternatives to cosmetic animal testing, noting that development and research into cruelty-free methods was a top priority for the organization. Coming up, find out why a 16-year-old vegan activist has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. English comedian Ricky Gervais broke down why animal testing is cruel and unreliable in less than 1 minute. In a BBC radio interview, the entertainer explained,
93% of all experiments that work on animals then fail and are dangerous on humans because the models don't work.
Computer models work better than animal testing. Gervais also pointed out how the breeders for this research, people who breed beagles, which are common test subjects for example, make 1,000 to 2,000 pounds per dog. Universities also get kickbacks from pharma companies to conduct animal research.
There's no ambiguity about shampoo and cosmetics. That's mental. Putting stuff in rabbits' eyes, torturing them to death because don't get shampoo in your eyes. It stings. Done, right?
The actor also believes that testing on animals for medicinal purposes is cruel and does not work. Research has found that 72% of consumers agree with Gervais, believing that animal experimentation is inhumane and unethical. A 16-year-old environmental activist, Greta Thunberg, is making headlines as the youngest nominee for a Nobel Peace Prize. The Swedish activist is vegan and has led thousands of students to protest against climate change. She recently made headlines for her speech at the UN Climate Change Conference in Poland.
You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes.
Where she urged members to consider their environmental impact for the sake of their children.
I want you to act as if you would in a crisis. I want you to act as if the house was on fire, because it is.
Her activism began as a one-woman protest outside the Swedish government building. She has purposefully missed school every Friday since the summer of 2018. To sit outside of the government building with a sign that reads, "School Strike for Climate." Since then, the movement has gone global. School children from around the world are following in her footsteps, staging 1,000 demonstrations in over 100 countries. Aware of the impacts of animal agriculture, the activist has also convinced her family to adopt a vegan diet too. International cosmetics company LUSH removed eggs from all its beauty products. The announcement was made on Instagram, accompanied by egg puns. Consumers were told not to fear, as their favorite products will be as effective as ever, thanks to some exciting ingredient replacements. Instead of eggs, the company has added aquafaba, the viscous liquid produced when cooking chickpeas, silken tofu, hydrolyzed wheat protein, bentonite powder, and soy-based yogurt for its protein and vitamin B properties. LUSH has been listening to shifting consumer preferences, as many are moving away from animal products for the planet, human health, and for the animals involved in the industry. The company is certified cruelty-free and does not participate in animal testing, For this reason, the new product formulas were tested on human volunteers, who compared the old egg formulas with the new vegan-friendly ones. Both were unlabeled, and the volunteers could not tell the difference, many even preferring the vegan versions. Coming up, the new vegan McDonald's meal. 12,000 doctors are urging the USDA to stop recommending dairy products. The nonprofit Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is urging the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Department of Health and Human Services to rethink dairy's place in the forthcoming dietary guidelines. The newly appointed 2020 to 2025 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee should take cues from the growing body of research pointing to dairy's health risks, according to the group. Canada recently dialed down its dairy recommendations significantly, removing all dairy except for small amounts of milk. Under current U.S. guidelines, the recommendation suggests that most individuals would benefit from increased dairy consumption, but data shows as much as 65% of the human population is lactose intolerant, which causes bloating, diarrhea, and gas. Registered dietitian Susan Levin, the Physicians Committee Director of Nutrition Education, said in a statement, "The Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee can't ignore the scientific evidence against dairy when it makes its recommendations to the USDA and HHS. Dairy consumption has also been linked to cardiovascular disease risk and several types of cancer." McDonald's has introduced a vegan take on its popular chicken nugget. The vegan vegetable nuggets are now available in its Norway locations. The nuggets are filled with chickpeas, cauliflower, corn, carrots, onion, and potatoes, and are coated in a crunchy breading. McDonald's locations around the world are embracing vegan options. Sweden and Finland introduced the McVegan burger in 2017. Finland has since released a second vegan burger, the El Veggio, and Sweden introduced a McFalafel Happy Meal with dippable falafel bites.
The added dipping sauce that you can choose from a massive selection of them.
Following a petition for more vegan food, McDonald's Australia announced it is working on a meat-free option. McDonald's UK also offers a vegan Happy Meal with a vegan wrap. And McDonald's US headquarters in Chicago has welcomed India's vegan Mikaloo Tiki Burger to its menu. That's it for today. Remember to subscribe and hit the red bell. We'll see you again next week for Live Kindly's weekly vegan news.